We're out here at a little different goat pasture today. We've started on a bit of an experiment or a new project. I've partnered with a friend on a small lease place, and we're going to try essentially the stocker sheep and goat enterprise here. So we've started acquiring some sale barn type animals that we think we can add value to. These are usually young, lightweight animals or mature, thin animals that we think with a bit of TLC and groceries, we can increase their value and then sell them again on a short-term basis. So, like I say, this is very experimental. I want to start off by saying I'm not telling anybody to do it this way because we're just learning here. But I wanted to bring you along on this project because I think it's pretty neat. And it could certainly end up going south on us, but it's going to be kind of fun to do. So, anyhow, like I said, we've been purchasing animals through the sale barn in the last week or a little more than a week. We bring them to this location, back up here to this gate, and then drop them in here to this. This is an old set of cattle pens, working cattle pens. Got a little barn shed here, and so we drop them in here. This pen's got this good diamond woven wire fence going around it, so it's pretty goat and sheep proof. And then when we drop them in here, one of the very first things that we're doing is we've got this poly wire set up around the interior of this fence to get them broke to electric. So we drop them in here, and straight away they're getting broke to poly wire, and so they'll stay in these working pens for 2 to 3 days. We'll put out some alfalfa feed along the perimeter up against this poly wire to start that training process with the electric fence. Got some little makeshift hay mangers set up there in the background so we can have plenty of bunk space for these animals and keep them full after they've been through that sale barn and been through that real stressful experience. We've got a couple water tanks set up here. One of them's an old cattle trough, so we had to retrofit it with some block so these goats and sheep could climb up there and get a drink. Not ideal, so we supplemented with this low tank, this plastic tank. If you'll notice, not so much the cattle trough, but this plastic tank, the water's real blue. It's got some electrolytes in it. So when these animals have been at the sale barn, been stressed, just like you or me on a hot day, getting some electrolytes in you is gonna help to get you hydrated and get you back to homeostasis, basically. Got this little shed here so these goats and sheep can crawl under here if we drop them off during any kind of rain event, so they've got a little bit of cover. We brought our pallet pens from our other place over here to work these goats because, like I say, we're going to process these goats within probably the 24-hour mark. We don't process them straight off the truck, at least right now. Our thinking is that maybe those goats need to settle in and get full and just kind of take a break from that sale barn experience. And so then we work them the next day, and we just simply run drafts in here and catch them. Right now we're giving a couple wormers levamisole and fenbendazole. I think I said that right. Valbazin, excuse me. Valbazin and levamisole is what we're giving right now. Right, wrong, or indifferent. We're also giving a drench with some electrolytes and cord mixed into it together. So we're running 2 guns. We've got the 2 wormers in 1 gun, and we got the electrolytes and cord in another gun. That might be wrong too, but that's what we're doing just to cut down on labor and handling. We're banding these billy kids that we buy right now. That could be wrong as well, but that's what we're doing. A lot of these goats are at least 35 pounds or bigger. 35 to 55 pounds is kind of what we're buying, so they're pretty developed, and we feel like knife cutting is maybe not the way to go with these more mature animals, so we're opting to band them. With the home raised herd, we generally knife cut, but those animals are much smaller. They're 6 to 8 week old type animals, so we think that's a different situation. We're also doing a sore mouth vaccine, a scratcher sore mouth vaccine, inoculating them to that. Right, wrong, or indifferent. And then lastly, a CD&T vaccine they're getting a shot of that as well. So that's kind of our current processing program, and we'll see how that works out. Going a little further in here, you can see kind of the animals that we're buying. These animals we purchased yesterday. They haven't been processed yet. So we got, this is a very much so a Heinz 57. We're just looking for any kind of animal that we think we can add value to. So you can see some of these thin animals, like that thin Billy right there. We think there's some room to put some weight on him. And then we've got some sheep mixed in here. You go in here further. Like I said, we got some of these lambs, but then also like out there, we got a few thin older ewes laying down. A thin ewe with a bag right there. She's got a bad teat on her, I think it looks like, or just maybe one teat, I don't know. But anyhow, those animals, we're gonna try to get them filled up and get some groceries in them, and add a little value and turn them here pretty quick. Oh, also, I've got some of these lick tubs out. I don't know if they got a sticker on them or not. Yeah, these are Vita Charge. I thought Biozyme makes them. Anyhow, they say it's a stress tub. It's got, I think it has some probiotics and different things to kind of help with their gut. But another thing, kind of like the electrolytes, these stressed animals come in here. I'm not sure it's worthwhile or worth the money, but we're going to try it. We got these tubs on what would be the east side of this building, so they don't catch that afternoon sun and get so hot, because they will go ahead and melt a little bit. Keep them propped up like that so these sheep and goats don't stand in them as much. They like to stand on everything, as most of you know. So if we keep them propped up like that, they're less likely to manure and urinate in them, and keep them a little cleaner, a little better. So like you see these little thin kid goats right here, they're all thin across their back and their hips. So I think there's plenty of room there to add some value to them if we can keep them alive, which is a real thing. Out here behind us, we've got our little grass trap that we're keeping. Basically, after 2 or 3 days, we kick these animals out here and mix them together. I think we've made 4 loads now, I think. Got a couple guard dogs out here on loan from a friend. These are young dogs. They're roughly 10 months old. I got a male and a female. Potentially, we'll maybe get some guard dog pups out of them for the guy that owns them, and just kind of as a service to him for letting us use these dogs. The stalker program is a experiment and possibly temporary thing, so we didn't really want to go out and try to buy new dogs and the like, so it worked out really well for this program. Also, these young dogs, this program is going to be on smaller acreages. We'll get to in a second, but we've got some cropland that we're trying to grow some warm and cool season annuals on throughout the year to graze, and so it's a smaller property and kind of fits a young dog that's just starting out and kind of going through the process of getting ready to be a full-blown guard dog out on range type country. So you come in here to this grass trap where we've commingled. Like you see this Billy kid right here, he's got a band on his testicles. We make a small slit in the bottom so that those testicles, they'll fall out first and then the sack will fall off later. And right, wrong, or indifferent, that's what we're doing. But I don't know what else. We come out here, you can see we've got animals like this thin I think it's a weather goat up there. We've drenched that goat several times with Corid. I think we've got some coccidiosis maybe issues going there, but we've drenched and doctored that goat several times now. He's in the first drag of animals that we purchased. So that's going to be the tough thing on doing this is handling the animal health issues like that, handling them both effectively and efficiently. You can put a lot of money into an animal and make it well again. But to do that in a economic manner is another thing, and in a timely manner is another thing. So we'll see how that goes. You can kind of see the general composition of this grass trap here. We got some weeds. They used to feed a lot of hay on this, I imagine, so disturb the soil a lot. There's a lot of what we call Bermuda grass or coastal Bermuda grass here. Not the best goat feed, but they've utilized it a little bit here. And some giant ragweed back in there, and a few other things that they're utilizing. Essentially, we'll show you our fencing here. This is the fencing project we were working on not so long ago. We've got 2 strands of high tensile on the offset on the inside of this trap, and then good example, we got fiberglass posts down there, 1 1/4 inch fiberglass post. So this fence is tied onto it, and that's what's keeping these goats in. If you go further down this fence, I've got 2 strands of polywire going across, and basically we will strip graze this grass trap going this way. So I'll put up another fence behind it and take the existing one down, and so they'll have another section, and we'll do that till we get to the end. Up there, where we had our other water troughs, just to the left, I've got another plastic trough with a float on it in this grass trap. So we're essentially working away from our water source. And once we're probably getting close to being done buying on these animals. I think we might have 1 or 2 more sales to go to get kind of to our full capacity that we're looking for. By the time we do that, get everything processed, trained our electric fence and kicked out in this grass trap, and we'll probably go back through and bring all these animals up again and do a second deworming here probably in the next day or 2, hit them again, or at least certainly the ones that we think need it the most. Just do a double dose on that, and then by the time we do all that, we'll probably be close to the end of this little grass trap. And then what we'll do, it won't be this field actually, but it'll be another field, and they look pretty sorry, and they're not what we want them to look like right now. But we're not, we're grazing sheep and goats like weeds, and there's some weeds out there. There's also some sorghum Sudan that's a little harder to see, that hadn't come up real great, but we're hoping it will here with a little bit of rain, get up a little better than it is. I'm not going to walk out in there right now, but trust me, there's some feed out there, and we'll probably here in a month or a little less, a little more, we'll probably go ahead and no-till into these fields with some cool season annuals. I'm not sure what my partner's kind of the farming side of things. I don't know all what he's got planned for the mix, but that should happen, sometime in 30 days, give or take a little bit, depending on a rain cycle. But that's what these goats are going to graze on. We'll probably do a similar strip grazing situation where these goats can come in, have an alleyway set up to our water source right here that we're currently using, and we'll kind of wagon wheel around these crop fields and utilize them that way. There are some surface tanks out there that we'll do the same thing off of, but we'll get to that later. Anyhow, this is where we're starting right now. Like I've said already, this isn't the beauty contest here. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Mostly the bad and the ugly. So this is a different enterprise. It's going to look different than our home-raised nanny goat, kid goat type enterprise. So those of you out there that are unfamiliar with this kind of thing, realize that the point is to buy underappreciated animals and try to put value on them. So some of you might think that these animals look thin or look poor. That's because they came that way, and we're trying to take them in a positive direction. So anyhow, I hope somebody finds some interest in this. I hope this isn't too big a wreck for us, but I think it'll be interesting, and I think we will certainly learn a lot, and it could turn into something real. So anyhow, we'll keep you guys posted and updated, and look forward to the next video. Talk to you later. Bye now.